My background has been involved in city planning. I was chairman of the Planning Commission in Washington. Many of my projects have been trying to fit buildings into their context, and it's usually a city context from which we find opportunities to create new additions to the skyline. For example, I've designed the World Trade Center, known as the Freedom Tower. It's a marker for a very important memory place, and it defines the skyline in lower Manhattan. I've also done buildings that have become iconic for their welcoming people. The Time Warner Center in New York is at a corner of the park. Very important project and an opportunity to work with Related, a great client who's been really a partner of mine in designing the projects, in which people come together and involve themselves in the activities of the buildings, and it suddenly organizes and gives meaning to the entire site. But this project in West Palm Beach is really remarkable. The site itself is interesting because it has already a great piece of architecture on it. The Christian Science Church. They've always been known for being very interested in good architecture. This one was done by Horace Trumbauer, who, 1928, who was a great architect. He did the Museum of Art in Philadelphia. Trumbauer had actually a remarkable young man, head of his studio, working on this particular project. And Abel was an interesting person himself and very talented. He was the first African-American graduate of the University of Pennsylvania, a very noted architectural school. So the two of them came hand in hand to work on this project, the best talent of his office. What makes this site important is a building, the church, but it's also the relationship to the prow of land that comes out and relates to the bridge, and the space around it. This had a beautiful space of grass and park-like qualities. So we wanted to preserve that, to enhance it, to step back from it, and in a partnership with it, not compete with it in massing, but suddenly pull back and be a vertical marker for it. It's akin to a lighthouse on the water edge, marking the entrance into the city of West Palm Beach. We are actually on axis as you come across the bridge, and then is filled to its north with the new reflecting pool leading up to our proposed new building, another axis down onto Flagler Drive, and then behind the building is that wall of the park that we've designed that comes up onto the building. It's green, it has perhaps color in it, so that the perfect background setting at the proper scale behind the church. Our new building will be office, but it also has a restaurant, and I should mention an important piece where we actually blend uses is part of the garage along the street to give it visual activity is the reading room. So people will be able to work in there in the library, use the library, animate the street so people walking along it can see lights and life. The best way to relate, we felt, to this was to use the bones, the columns, the verticality, but not to try to mimic its architecture. It is of a time and a place that is unique, it's beautiful, let it be. One of the tenets of historic preservation is the building and its details. But really as much, if you can preserve a building for its original use, that's the ultimate goal. The compatibility is the old and the new working together to create something that is distinctive. These pairs dancing together on the site create a marker and an institution of enormous quality.